Figure out.
Ah! That's the scream that we
That's a
enter
good
every
one.
patch with. Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
the
we should
eagle roar.
I feel like we should replace the Wilhelm scream with the screaming goat.
The screaming.
So that it's less film. It's less of like a film
Yeah,
tradition, and
yeah,
we
no,
can make
it's
that
a
like an
more
internet
natural.
tradition.
Well, hey, thanks for joining us today. This is The Patch, brought to you today by Crunchyroll and Dollar Shave Club. I remembered.
You called it.
Nice
And I'm going to flip
work.
it over like this, because we have this as like really a callback to old times.
We used to not have this timer in the patch screen.
This is
so
actually
we actually
animated.
just had an hourglass because
No way.
Yeah, no, it
Okay.
fills up.
That's cool.
Gus really likes us to make sure the show's an hour.
He likes to be spot on.
Why? He's just anal retentive.
yeah.
No.
Craves order.
Look, he just
I mean,
likes.
he's Gus.
The
Yeah,
one
no, I
time
get
where
it.
we hit it like to the second, he actually
Just, like, walking
orgasmed
around,
on the
like,
show.
Just
The,
whistling
the
all
table
day.
went.
We had to redo all the lights.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Damn. It's been a while, Gus, hasn't it?
It's worth mentioning today that we are joined by Lawrence from Funhouse.
Yes, hello.
Yay! I'm
Hello.
so glad you could come on.
So I do this a lot. Sorry about all that. Sorry about the face. Sorry about the hair. I was wearing a luchador mask for the past couple of hours. And then-
For-
We required
for
all the
reasons.
Funhouse guys to wear luchador masks
Whenever
the entire time
they
they were
visit.
here. Yeah.
The thing is, we're trying to keep them secret from a lot of people, and so they go about disguised.
Also, it's
as
sort of a
luchadors.
dominance thing in the Achievement Hunter office. We don't want them to get, too full of themselves.
Right.
So
Well, here's the
it's
thing:
like,
is none of them
hide
will
your
wear
face.
shirts, so they got to cover
Always
like another
shirtless.
body part instead.
There's been so many nipples in the Achievement Hunter office the past few days.
Wonderful. Yeah, this is actually a tattoo.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people know that. It's I have also a weird skin condition where it looks like it's cloth. Don't worry about
It
that.
bunches.
Yeah,
Some
there's
extra.
some weird reflections on it. So again, sorry about all this. I'm
Are
totally
you like
naked
Benjamin
right now.
Buttoning and then your skin gets tighter as you get older?
That would be awesome.
Wouldn't
No,
it?
that would not be awesome because at some point it would split, right? Like that would probably be the most
I guess
painful
it
way
would
to
get
live.
smaller.
Like, it'd be awful. Like
Yeah.
your skin just split off you.
You start looking like the people from Insurrection Star Trek. Nope. Okay.
I've seen
Just
it.
Me.
Forgot
Yeah.
it entirely.
It's the one where they have the skin stretchers.
Sure.
Yeah.
What else happened in that
And the
movie?
planet where there's like, oh, everybody here lives forever because the radiation is
Is that
really
the one
helpful.
where? Yeah, that's
and
one.
Geordi grows his eyes back.
And then Picard's banging that like Irish broad or something.
Yeah, and she's like 400 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was not a good movie.
No,
It was,
real bad.
It was like a bad episode, but even longer, which makes it worse.
But Riker controlled the Enterprise with an actual joystick.
he did do that.
Yeah.
Is that when they got the Enterprise E and then blew it up in the same movie? Is that what that was?
If you've ever been curious what it looks like when a girl looks at a guy and wonders how they ever got laid, this would be it.
You just got to know a lot of stuff.
I like Star Trek, but I'm one of the fans that actual Star Trek fans hate because I like the new movies.
Sure.
Because
Fair weather fans.
Everyone,
Fine.
because everyone in the new movies is smoking hot.
That's true.
They did have Winona Ryder, though, and that was probably the worst look for Winona Ryder I've ever seen.
That's why they killed her instantly.
She did go down fast.
Right. They gotta just narrow it down to the hotties.
Yeah. She was just like an aged face poking out of a washcloth.
Oh.
Yeah, I heard a lot of boos. Boo! More pie! What happened? And then J.J. Abrams was like, "Oh shit!" And then he hit the button. She died.
The kill
Movie went
Winona
on.
button.
Yeah, it's
That
nice
was-
to have one of those. By the
She
way,
was there just for ethos. Just like, oh, maybe I was the assumption that's like, it's Winona Ryder. People will have an emotional connection. They'll think, oh, girl interrupted.
Yeah.
And then we'll kill her. And they'll be like, no!
Yeah, but she played like the most milk toast like mom ever. She even had
Yeah.
like she was wearing like a little bandana thing. She looked like a Syrian refugee.
She
It's
did.
Weird. What?
She seemed like a weird call for that role.
Yeah. Especially for someone that has 3 lines and then dies.
Maybe it was a
Yeah.
favor.
You think she just slipped in under the radar? Like, look, Winona really wants to work with you, JJ.
She just appeared on set, and then the other actress they had mysteriously vanished.
She may have stolen the script. We don't know. She's
gotta
over
shoot a
that,
movie.
right? She had that whole klepto phase thing. No? Just
Was
me?
that her?
Shit, I would do it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Fuck, if I were rich, I'd steal everything. What am I gonna do? Go to jail? Fuck that. You think I'm gonna make stupid jokes?
Yeah,
for
but
a
if
while? I
you're
don't
rich, you
care.
go to nice jail.
Yeah, right. Or home arrest or something. I'll just keep stealing things.
Just steal stuff from yourself.
Yeah.
Lawrence.
Yes. The personal
Rich people do have the nicest stuff. You should just steal your own
because
things.
they take it.
Yeah.
My like parole agent would come over and just take that wallet, take that shirt, take those pants. He goes outside, gets
Which
in
of
his
those
car.
do you think they'd
I'm
notice
naked.
first?
Shirt. I'm gonna get
Shirt?
shirt. No.
You think
You don't
he'd
think
notice
pants?
shirt?
I think draft
Yeah.
is more noticeable.
But if he's wearing boxers, maybe not so much.
They are breathing.
They bunch. That's the
They
problem.
do bunch.
Fucking shit. What's this podcast about?
So, Ryan,
Sometimes games.
you got a new toy to play with,
I do have a new toy.
and it's a video game toy,
It's a
which
video
is
game toy. I haven't
topical
gotten to play
because
with
this
it
is the
much yet.
patch, which is where we talk about games and Winona
Star
Ryder.
Trek, Abrams, weird skin, stretching, insurrection. Who cares? Toys.
HTC Vive. Yes. See, it's Half-Life 3. There, we've made the link somehow. Yeah, no, I haven't got to do much with it. I got to set it up, which in of itself is definitely a very different process than setting up the Oculus. The Oculus is one camera, one headset, plug, done. The Vive, you've got the two lighthouses that you have to set up. You got your two controllers. Those are connected via a USB hub that comes with it, which was really cute. Of course, these
It's
are
cute.
It was actually cute. It's off the rack Monoprice logo still on it. Little USB hub that you plug your two wireless dongles into for the controllers. I gotta say the whole put together of the kit looks very thought out.
Really?
Even the instructions were really cute, and there was a news post that popped up about those, so you can find them online.
Ryan, are Meg and I rubbing off on you? Everything's cute.
It's so cute. Oh,
The Vive itself is not that cute though. The controllers look like weird space plungers.
they do
And
look
then-
a little space plungery.
But is it better than light up dildos?
No,
Ooh.
nothing is.
Well, here's the thing: you can make them light up dildos. All you have to do is just you tell them what you're holding, light up dildo. You're there. You put the headset on, now you just raving with dildos.
so this theoretically has to do with games, maybe not. But can
Yes.
you get enough voltage over USB to power a good vibrator, or is it just not enough juice?
I would assume not enough juice.
I mean, the vibration handle or vibration motors in modern controllers are
That-
pretty intense.
But that's off a battery,
No,
not
yeah,
directly
you
through
can
USB.
get it direct through.
I guess it is. You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like you
'cause
can,
a
a
lot of
360 controller or a PS4, you can run those
Okay.
direct off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oddly enough, I think
Why aren't there more of those then?
I think the vibration in controllers is probably a little bit more advanced than you'll find in most
Japan.
vibrators.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah,
you're
no, I
probably
mean
right.
they've got like whole peripherals, like the vibrating vaginas. There's the
Well, yeah, women don't need. Well,
What would you do with a vibrating vagina?
you put your penis in it.
And then it just
And then it just you don't have to do anything. It's great.
and it just
We're in the advent of all this tech.
Vibrates?
Women can't do that.
Hey, I've never tried one, but I can see how there might be merit.
I also realized the other day.
I feel like it'd make you go numb after a while, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
once you take a break.
you pull out eventually.
Yeah. I realized that since there are cell phones everywhere, basically every woman has a vibrator on them at all times. So how does anything get done?
Wasn't that a commercial?
Oh, I really don't think the
It's not enough?
vibration in
So that's not
in
enough.
mobile phones is nearly enough.
Okay, I'm thoroughly ignorant about this, about the barrier of sensitivity there.
I know you can download apps for phones that'll just turn the vibration on, so theoretically you can do your dirty business.
It's not
But
dirty. It's beautiful.
oh, I'm sure it is, but it's also in a lot of ways dirty because there's like
Oh, sure.
You do put-
fluids
you have
that
to throw it
got
in a
to-
Ziploc
you
bag
put it-
first.
Yeah, it's like anything. If you have to throw your phone in a Ziploc bag before you play with it, it's just there's so
Be
much that
prepared.
goes into it.
I was reading in the shower. Just say that.
There you go. My phone, I think, is actually water resistant. I don't know proof. Resistant.
Yeah.
Depends on your,
Depends how long you take.
that too.
Just a quick splash, done.
Yeah.
But if you're settling in for the night, you might need a Ziploc bag.
I mean, and a glass of wine.
Yeah. Star
make it
Trek
classy.
Insurrection.
Maybe some chocolates.
Some Star Trek Insurrection.
Picard gets shirtless in that one. Well, he got shirtless at First Contact too.
Kirk isn't an insurrection. You bite your tongue.
I said Picard, didn't I?
No, you said Kirk.
I think
Sorry.
I
That was
think you I
Generations,
think you
right?
might have
You're
corrected.
mixing, yeah.
No, did he? No.
Picard.
Wait, it's like we don't record this at all.
Quick correct. I think it was a quick correct.
This is edited,
It was
right?
Of course corrected.
Yeah. Wait, Vive, right?
Vive, yeah, gaming. So
you got it
screen.
set up.
I got it set up. I did the room calibration, which is a really fun process in and of itself. Most especially because there's a part of it where you have to actually set where the floor is, and you're
do it by,
just
like,
in a white
touching?
room, yeah, and you've got the controller, and the controller is perfectly represented in front of your face, exactly where you feel it in your hand, and so you grab a little ball and you drag it down to the floor. And you feel the thing hit the floor, right where it lines up with your feet, and it all just makes so much sense in your brain. And then the screen quality is definitely a step up from the DK2, which all of the final released versions will be. But
Didn't Oculus just release another dev kit?
did they? I don't
I'm
think
gonna-
they.
I'm gonna look it up
I thought
really
they
quick.
were
I
doing
thought they-
DK2 to production.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they had
that's what I
DK2,
thought too, but
and
then
they were showing
someone
Crescent
told
Bay,
me-
but that never really got sold or sent
They've
out.
been demoing, but they haven't actually. I don't think made another one available for sale. I could
That's
be
what,
wrong.
that's what I thought too, but I also could be wrong. I have put blinders on until those things are retail available. I got
Okay.
a DK1 and I was like,
Yeah.
ah, and I have to stop.
No,
Because it's
you're
almost good, but not quite.
you're
Yeah,
right.
those had to be really
DK2.
rough because DK2
This is 720p, right? DK1
No,
was lower than that.
DK2 was 1080, but it was 1080 across both eyes.
Okay.
It was one 1920 by 1080 screen split between your two.
And then the
dots.
retail one is going to be like 1080 but flipped for each
I
eye.
want to say it's like 10. It's 1080 by 600 per eye. It's something like that. It's like I think the total resolution is like 28 something, 24 something by 1200.
2160 by 1200,
Ah,
or
so
it's going to
close.
be
Per eye,
it's going to be
or-
1080
No.
by 1200 per eye.
Okay,
Oh yeah, because that's the. I'm dumb.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's that dimension. One dimension carries over to both eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it definitely a step up in sense that I could read things, and it wasn't like, God help my eyes, which DK2 was real bad about.
Yeah.
It was, but again, DK2 is still much lower resolution. Is not going to match what the final release of Oculus is. You guys actually got to play with one at PAX, right?
Yeah, we actually got to go to Valve and mess with it there, which I'm curious about because they had a number of demos that they loaded up. I don't know if did it come with any kind of software package for here are some demos to play with?
I think I may be getting access to that. I'm not sure yet.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so yeah, maybe there's like a dev zone that you can go to, but yeah, when we did it, they just ran us through these demos. There's one where you're like on the deck of a sunken ship underwater, and there's all these fishies going around, and you can wave at the fishies. Then a giant whale comes, and that's your first hit when you realize that you can see things on a big TV, and they seem big, but the raw scale of it never hits you until you don't have like a bevel to remind you that you're looking at something that isn't real.
Like through a window.
Yeah, exactly. So when it's filling your entire field of view and you don't hear anything, you're pretty immersed, and then this giant thing comes in. You're like, fuck, hey. I don't know if that's something that's going to wear off. I hope not. Because there's always that awesome first hit of tech, and then everybody gets used to it.
Yeah, eventually we all get super spoiled. I mean, I remember looking at games like once the Nintendo 64 came out, I was like, God, this is so realistic. Man, the graphics, it's like unbelievable. And now,
Yeah, it's bullshit, stupid. All these games look terrible.
right, like the way that when the Ocarina of Time came out for 3DS, and I was playing, I was like, this isn't that much of an upgrade. It just looks like it looked before because it looks the way I remember
Yeah.
it looking. And I went back and looked at it before and went,
Blah. How? It's like
It's
10
now
frames
suddenly
a second.
very offensive
how
to
did
the
I
eye.
see anything?
It's one green cube wobbling around. What is this? I can't play this.
I will say that over the time I played with the DK2, initially you did get very strong sense of presence, almost like ASMR, where it's like a visual version of that, where you saw things and it made it feel like you should be reacting, even though the screen on that one wasn't as good. It did wear off. Like it got to where now I can get in a DK2 and it doesn't give me that sensation anymore.
Does that make you sad?
It does make me a little sad, especially because I think if you maybe just started straight to what the final retail resolutions will be, that would have carried over a lot longer.
That there is a downside to being an early adopter for tech, and that's usually it, is that you get the stuff before it's nice, before it's polished, before it works. You're dealing with all the broken things, and that's the price you pay for being first. I don't know. Sometimes I'm over being an early adopter. But at the same time, I can't not get it right when it comes out. What am I going to do?
It's technically not out. So if you just tell yourself that,
That's true.
even
I'm
though it's
gonna
there
wait.
and you can buy it.
Although we have an Oculus Rift at home. I don't think we have DK2. I think we might have DK1 at
Is
home.
it big, flat? Is it like
No.
completely flat? If it's more rounded, then it's a
It's
DK2.
more rounded. It's more rounded. Okay,
Yeah,
so that's
DK
what we've
ones
got
were just
then.
like
It was
it's like you
it was
smashed your face on
rectangular, and then
something.
it had like a giant square end on it. Yeah, that's the one I got.
Now we've got two then, but I'm trying to hold off on it a little bit. It's mostly Teddy who's playing with it now. He's going crazy trying to get the VR version of all of his games, like Subnautica, and then he gets really
man,
upset
that
when
would be
they
awesome.
well, there's new firmware or not firmware. There's a new patch or something. It was for Oculus, I think, that makes it not work with Subnautica right now.
Yeah,
and can I
Oculus-
just tell you that he is furious, and Valve, he would like you to know that. He's
Valve?
not happy.
What's Valve's problem?
Oh, right, it's
They have no
Oculus,
beef in
not
this.
sorry, it's Oculus, not
Oculus, yeah.
Vive.
Facebook.
So
Well,
Palmer Lucky, you fix this shit right now.
No, it's not his fault. What just happened with the Oculus was they released the 0.7 runtime, which basically every time they release a new version of the runtime, it deprecates 2 back. So
Oh, okay.
anything 0.6 or 0.7 is good now. But the updates that they made were really kind of necessary, and it pretty much had to happen. I really like what's happening in 0.7 because what they've done that'll be great for us is now you have the Oculus version that you see in your HMD, but the screen mirroring that you're getting is actually a 2D, more traditional looking screen. So you can record it, and you don't have all that. It's
I
only a
gotcha.
Okay.
single merged view. It's
Okay.
not the stereoscopic, and it's not warped for the Oculus viewer. So it's way better to look at. Now, maybe it loses some of the charm of
Yeah.
watching something just because you almost have to have a face cam on it.
a little
then,
more
'cause
exotic,
It's like,
yeah.
how do you look around? Well, you don't feel like they're looking around. It looks like just another person playing with a mouse.
Yeah. Do you feel like there's a lot of opportunity for VR with things like Let's Plays, or is it more?
Well,
I think
I mean, it seems like a
spectating
different-
through an Oculus of a Let's Play might be interesting.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of places you can go with that. Like you could have like 360-degree view, so you are sitting with Achievement Hunter, and you can like look over their shoulders and watch their screens, and like look over and see them like talking shit to each other. You can have positional audio and things like that. So
Which is actually something I wanted to do
Yeah.
with our Let's Plays, but the way our setup is now, it's much harder. I wanted to do that when we had the room where we were all against the walls, and I did a
in the
few
middle.
tests, and it was just I didn't get what I wanted, and then we moved offices.
Yeah. You tried the binaural microphone we brought in, right?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun too. That's the other thing is there's no right now that's basically still stereo. It emulates the sense of 3D positional, but it's still only 2 channels. So until you get more of a true multi-channel kind of setup support from YouTube, it's not going to do a lot.
Jeez,
But
sorry, I'm just kind of trying to figure out. So okay, let's say
Yeah.
you have a video,
yeah.
and you somehow can move around inside that video. I'm trying to think of how that could happen.
360-degree video.
Not if it's a
Yeah.
cam. Well, okay.
It'd have to be pre-recorded.
There's a
or
couple
you'd
ways.
have multiple camera points that you could switch to.
You could do that. You could do multiple camera points. The other option that is kind of the buzzword right now in capture is light field technology.
Okay.
Have you ever seen a light field camera?
No, what's light field
We're
camera?
way
so like it
afield
records and
of-
renders in 3D and then projects a 2D video onto 3D surfaces.
Oh,
Is that
it's a really weird thing. Okay, we're a little far afield of gaming, but in the sense that this is something
this
that
isn't
you're
for Let's Plays. This is gonna be a thing that will help all forms of video game spectating entertainment in the future.
Sell it.
This
Nailed
is
it. You
important.
got it.
Did it? Okay,
Esports.
great.
Boom.
Continue.
so a light field camera is essentially an array of cameras.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like
so like how they did the
3 by
Matrix
3.
like swirl around?
sorta. Only think of them just in a block.
or like mocap.
Again, not really. It's literally just like if you took this and just made the surface of it all cameras.
Okay.
And what you can do once you have that is you can actually change the focus, the zoom, various features of the camera or your final camera shot on the fly. Even position, you can track it, you can move it around like this. But it lets you create a virtual camera from real cameras in recording something that is real.
Okay.
So
Does it do interpolation like between all the footage to kind of like blend
essentially,
frames
yes.
and stuff? Okay.
Exactly. So it lets you recam a real life situation.
Wow.
That's pretty awesome.
It's pretty awesome. Right now, it only really works one direction. I mean, so you could, I guess, make a
A cube of them, like every surface, recording in
Jeez,
every
that'd be
direction.
A lot of cameras.
Yeah, it would. But I mean, it's all miniaturization, right? Like there's a lot of circuitry in a cell phone, but it's all just been compacted down. So
It's true.
There could just be a camera ball that you just like, it hovers because it's the future.
Well, right, because there's that Lily drone, the one that you can just throw up and will automatically follow you around.
Really?
Have you seen
No,
that?
I haven't
Oh,
seen
it's
that one.
amazing.
Jeez.
I don't know if we can pull it up, but yeah, there's this this new drone. I don't know if it's actually out yet, but it's you have something like a locator on your wrist or something like that, and you can just take this drone, throw it, and it just starts itself and will follow you around. You can set it to just hover, or you want it to circle you. It's really good for sports and things like that. If you're
Okay.
snowboarding or kayaking or whatever you want to do, and then you can just do this and it'll land back in your hand.
Way.
Super cool. So you do that, but have it with cameras all the way around. Man, that would be
Oh,
the
God.
best.
I'd
Here
hate
we
to
go.
try and
Here goes.
process
There's the
that
Lily. It's super cool.
It's so hard right now to already just to ingest a 360 video, and I'm not even messing with stereoscopic stuff. But oh god, I don't even want to try and imagine what it would be like to try and process one of those beasts.
I mean, I can see something like that. Like if you were able to combine a drone
Jeez.
with
Which
the
they
light
have done
field
some
camera,
drone-mounted 360 cameras, but not light
right.
field.
But think of if you for like esports stuff, like you could just do flyers of the entire thing, go right up to the players. You can see all that kind of stuff.
There's
No?
some range. Well, it's still realistically you're limited to the size of your array. So you can only, if you've got an array the size of this table, you can move the camera, virtual camera, left and right, but you're really only talking about moving it from here to here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is good if you're, say, recording in like the Achievement Hunter office, that gives you the sense that you could like be standing
Yeah,
and
shift
like
around.
leaning and forward, and in the way 360 video works now, that's not really represented.
Yeah.
I like the idea that you can be like, what kind of character am I? You get really into it. Like, am I shifty? And so you just like move the camera like this. You're like really get into the role playing of watching other people in the room play games.
I'm part of this. I'm in it. I'm watching this video. It's so interactive.
Like push the button to like eat a chip.
I'm excited for a lot of things, but once VR breaks out, I feel like it's going to create this whole unique subculture of VR video viewing and game playing and all this stuff. And I think people are it's going to hit certain nerves in the human experience that are going to get weird. So like you were talking, I think, voyeurists are probably really going to love that shit because they can feel like they're spying on somebody or something like that. It's gonna get a little weird. And then you'll have people that didn't even know they like that stuff, and just because they experience it in VR and they're just like their heart's racing, like, oh wow, this is my jam. And then they go on the internet and find a bunch of other weirdos that'll live out their weird VR fantasies.
Or like 50-foot ladies stomping on people.
Yeah,
That's that's a game.
I mean that already happens. I've seen some weird shit on DeviantArt, but yeah, you can like make it real. Or like Vor, some dude can put on a VR headset and get eaten by a My Little Pony. It's gonna be.
That's a thing?
Oh yeah. Oh man.
Getting eaten?
Oh, yeah.
Like, we're talking nibble, not like,
No, swallowed whole.
hey, baby,
usually.
let me, yeah.
Swallowed whole. Okay, so
Yeah,
that
no,
you
like a
are then
snake. And then you
And then
inside
you go
a
down the
pony.
throat
Yep.
and
I've seen a lot of YouTube videos of very unique people who essentially depict themselves being swallowed by specifically the blue fox lady from Star Fox Adventures. There's a lot of those, and like,
what is the inside of her esophagus like? Because I've always wondered.
It's blue.
Is it? Maybe she changes it up on the inside.
It's often depicted as very slimy and red. It's weird. You would think you would not be able to see anything, but there's a lot of first person traveling through the esophagus,
So you bring lights.
being in the stomach. They
Well,
don't-
you just when you get swallowed, you have to wear a headlamp.
yeah.
Ah,
I'm like those kind of dorks would wear the helmet. If you enjoy that, that's fine. Hey, do your thing. You do you.
Right.
Don't listen to me.
Don't let anyone tell you that you can't wear a headlamp if you want to wear a
while
headlamp.
being swallowed by My Little Pony.
There she is.
Or the blue lady from Star
Or
Fox.
the blue lady. Wow, she is cute. All right.
She's got a tiny mouth,
What's up,
though.
Ryan?
She does. I'd go down that throat. Come on.
Maybe it unhinges.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
typically
God.
what happens. The
That's
one I saw,
freaky.
she had to like take off her necklace because her jaw dropped. so
Ah!
far. Like,
Okay, now that goes from being like, oh, she's cute to downright terrifying. I
Ugh.
would prefer to think of her more as 50 feet tall.
The
So they're
50
just
feet
like
tall
still,
works,
Oh,
yeah.
I see.
You know.
Okay.
It's more of that. What was that movie with Martin Short? Never mind. Dennis Quaid, Martin Short.
A lot of
he,
people
like-
are saying that.
Yeah,
lately.
he miniaturized.
Martin
And he
Short
goes
was an
inside.
actor?
Inner Space?
Oh,
Inner Space.
Yeah, that's
There
what-
you
Inner
go.
Space is so good.
That was a good movie.
I
It's a great
remember
movie.
liking it, but that probably isn't a good sign because I was young and dumb. I don't know.
Very
Look-
influenced.
It was like the 80s. It was 80s, right? It's a fantastic film.
I remember there being like moments of comedy where Dennis Quaid had to convince Martin Short that he had an ulcer because he was in his stomach because there was another evil
1987.
shrunk down machine bot that he wanted him to
Yes,
digest. So
that's right.
He made his stomach acids go crazy and killed him. And I remember like a skeleton bonking against Dennis Quaid's body ship.
Well, that wasn't one of those things where the ship was going to return to size on its own, right? Where
I think it was, and he was gonna like.
he left the guy
splat.
in there.
Yeah, he
That
did.
dude
Yeah.
died inside
But
Martin
but
Short.
but he died, so maybe
Wait,
now
wouldn't
that he's
guy have
dead, he
expanded
doesn't.
again? He would
Yeah.
just have
Activate.
like human-sized bones
like
explode-
3 seconds after the movie ended, Martin Short just went.
just exploded. Yeah, and a
No, I
human
like-
skeleton rocketed it out.
Sorry,
of his
to the
stomach.
I like
microphone.
the idea that he goes into the digestive system and like right as he gets pooped out, it goes,
Yeah, immediately. Wow.
and you're like,
Just
whoa!
destroys
I
the
I
toilet.
did not feel that.
Wow, felt much smaller.
Now you know what that Futurama episode was referencing.
So VR.
Well,
a lot
actually,
of things, a
before
lot
we
of
get
weird
back to
things are going to be
VR,
possible.
We got to keep talking about Martin Short.
we do got to get back to Martin Short. But we're going to talk about Crunchyroll for a minute because this
Ah.
lovely podcast was brought to you in part by Crunchyroll. You said you actually watched a lot of things on Crunchyroll.
Yeah. I watched. Shoot. So I don't know if I'm pretty sure this is on Crunchyroll. You might want to look it up before I do, considering this is a sponsorship. But yeah, there's a lot of great content on Crunchyroll.
Nice vamp.
Not all of it involves somebody getting eaten by a fox lady, though.
Some of it does.
Let me check
No.
here. Yes, that's it. Monster Musume. So, okay.
Wow.
If you're not
Way to
subscribed to
bail that out.
Crunchyroll, you need to subscribe right now and watch that show. Because
Really? What's it about?
Monster Musume?
okay, we live in a world where
Okay,
there's humankind
hold on.
and
We're settling
monsterkind.
in.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited.
And for the first time ever, monsterkind is living with humankind, which just so happens to be
In harmony?
maybe not. Essentially,
So
you
it's
have
like True Blood with monsters.
kind of, yeah. That's actually a good way to put it. Also, a lot more kinky and weird.
Right.
Yeah, figure that out. So essentially, there's a variety of half monster, half very buxom anime girls that
What?
live with this
No.
dude. Yeah,
Daywalkers, yeah.
that live with this dude, and the premise is that he can't do anything to any of them, including sex, because that would cause a diplomatic incident between human and monster kind. Except the Lamia girl, I've only seen the first episode, so this is the only one I've dealt with. The snake lady is desperately in love with our hero. He's not really a hero; he's kind of a shithead, but so
Anti-hero.
there you go.
There you go.
But she is trying to get him to have sex with her all the time, and it's a gnarly show because theoretically, so I like watching that kind of good stuff because harem shows specifically always tend to appeal to weird like kinks and fetishes that probably guys don't even know they have.
Yeah.
So the Lamia girl, like, she is super dominatrixy. She's always beating on him and like constricting him because she's cold-blooded and needs his body warmth and stuff. And he's like getting seriously.
Sure,
What a
she
great
does.
justification.
That's
I got to hug on you because I need your body.
Yeah.
That's the line I use on Bernie all the time when I need my feet warmed up.
Yeah, yeah. So it works. And it actually, in the opening scene of the show, she's about to kill him, but he figures out that if he like shakes her tail off a little bit, she gets
This motion?
a little bit back and
Oh, you
forth
give
on
it a
that
little
tail.
rattle?
Just give a little
rattle?
rubbing,
Yeah.
and then she somehow
Tease the
loses
tip
all
off?
of her concentration. Who knows what's going on? But she just kind of relaxes after that.
And then she falls for him.
Yes. Well, apparently that was already
So
happening.
far.
But yeah, and then it's weird, man. But yeah, you should watch that show. Everybody should watch that show. Crunchyroll is awesome.
That's actually one of the shows that's simulcast, 9:30 on Tuesdays.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So you
right,
can
well-
watch it as soon as it comes out in Japan.
I'll put it in my calendar. I'll light some candles.
Well, we have an exclusive offer for our listeners. Try out Crunchyroll Premium for 30 days free with crunchyroll.com/thepatch. Unlimited anime, manga, and drama titles. Newest episodes as soon as 1 hour after air in Japan via simulcast. There you go. All episodes professionally subtitled, and all episodes are ad-free in 1080p HD. Enjoy that. As my tongue doesn't always work. Sometimes it becomes a snake
No,
monster.
you drink at work, I understand.
You just apparently grab the tip and rub it a little bit.
Okay, we're good. Enjoy across all devices: Xbox, PlayStation, Wii U, Roku, Android, iOS, Roku, Apple TV, etc. That's crunchyroll.com/thepatch. Thank you so much for sponsoring us.
Also, another show to check out if you do that is I hear lots of good things about. Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon?
That's the one I'm always saying I should go watch.
Yeah.
I have not yet gotten to
I
it.
mean, you gotta watch it just for the name alone.
If it takes that long just to say the title, it's got to be great. Right?
Anime titles are getting super long lately.
Really? I mean,
a weird trend.
It used to be like just Hunter x Hunter. Or
Yeah.
Bleach.
No longer.
Maybe
it's
it's
essentially
for-
entire sentences nowadays.
Maybe it's for searchability.
Could be. I think it's just this weird like meta competition of trying to find the next longer weird comedic title.
Or are we just getting to the point where all the trademarks have been taken? So
That could
now
be
it's
that
just you have
too.
to keep adding words. Fight, fight, go hunt demon for ultimate slaying time.
That's actually a really
That's
accurate title.
We should probably trademark that quick.
All right, we'll make that one.
Bikini Warriors is great too. Check that
Bikini
one.
Warriors?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's the most gratuitous show I think I've ever seen. Just Google it up real quick.
Bikini
You'll be
Warriors?
surprised.
What? Can I turn to camera if I
Oh
find
yeah,
Bikini
no,
Warriors?
it's not pornographic.
Okay.
It gets damn near close. Essentially, it both makes fun of RPG tropes, but in the process, like, is all those tropes. So the cast is 4 very buxom ladies who wear almost nothing. But like in the first episode, they get better armor that's even smaller, and like only one of them is offended by this, and the rest of them go back into the dungeon and they're fighting monsters in their little battle tassels. They're like, "Holy
Yes.
crap, this is great! My defense is so high, I don't even feel like this fire attack anymore." And
is
the one who
basically
still has
pasties, yes.
Yeah. So good show, good content. Not quite like Fruits Basket. That one's gratuitous in another way. It's
I
very
always
cute.
liked Fruits Basket. It's super cute. That was like the first anime that I watched. I mean, it was only, I think, 13 episodes, so pretty easy to be like, I watched the whole thing.
Nice.
But that was the first one that I watched all the way through. It was adorable. I almost liked it so much that I was going to read the manga or whatever it is
I
because
love
it only
going
had
the
one
comic
season of the
route.
show, but then a whole bunch more in the manga.
Yeah.
But then I didn't.
No? All right.
No. I mean, I still intend to at some
Someday.
point, but, you know.
Do you think that they would? Is it still running? Because they might have added a new character to match the new Zodiac.
Oh,
Oh, right.
Ophiuchus?
Man, what is that? Okay, so what is it? What is it? An
I
animal?
don't even know. I just one day they were like, "Hey, there's another Zodiac, and you're
Whatever,
it.
man.
I was
I,
like,
I
"God
felt
damn."
like they really sprung that on us.
I
refused to accept it because I didn't want to change from being a Taurus.
So it got you too. Yeah, I really feel like I was Sagittarius.
Yeah, Ophiuchus?
That's close enough.
Is there a
Ophiuchus?
picture of
I'm
it?
pretty sure it's Ophiuchus.
Aren't they all represented by animals or? Oh, I guess Pisces
well,
is just twins. Wait,
Sagittarius is a kind
that's
of a
Gemini.
centaur.
yeah. Cancer,
Yeah.
Taurus.
Which one's the two sperm hugging?
Ophiuchus.
That's
Gemini.
yeah. It's meant.
Two sperm,
That
it's
is sperms.
twins.
You're right. It's kind of
There's
69.
69, yeah.
Huh.
Well, yeah, close enough.
Nice. 69ing twins. Nice. I haven't come across that in any of my shows yet, but there's always time.
Maybe you haven't been doing enough research. Maybe next season of Bikini Warriors.
Hey.
Well, a little bit.
So video games.
Video game.
Yeah.
Actually, I wanted to mention this is a little bit more of a technical dive than we normally talk about, but there was the whole dust up recently between AMD and NVIDIA over
Yeah.
DirectX 12 support. Did you hear anything about this?
I mean, I read about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's frustrating because my understanding of DirectX 12 and what it does
Mm-hmm.
essentially means that AMD's hardware was not optimized yet, and DirectX 12 is making it more optimized. NVIDIA's is like, no, we did that already. That's done. We did that a long time ago.
Right.
And everyone's like, oh, AMD's so great. Though technically it's because they didn't do something they should have been doing. Theoretically, I don't know. I have a very surface level understanding of how DirectX 12 is supposed to.
As do I, yeah.
Yeah, use
Well, essentially, it had to do with asynchronous calls and the ability to change gears sort of mid-process,
Yeah.
which the pipeline setup for NVIDIA was just really not conducive to so far. The whole thing started because they went back and forth with a developer when they were doing some benchmarkings that showed off that the game ran so much better on AMD and just completely actually got worse, I think, on NVIDIA hardware. Not by much, but
Interesting.
all of a sudden enabling this process in DX12 is allowing AMD hardware to far outstrip the higher end AMD hardware, to far outstrip the higher end NVIDIA hardware.
So
which
is
saw
that-
very little boost at all.
Is that raw benchmark or is that just improvement? Because AMD has not matched NVIDIA's high-end performance for a while.
Right.
So is it just like AMD's there now and they have like 300% improvement, but they're still basically neck and neck at this point?
No. It's a raw benchmark. They're
Oh,
now
wow.
out framing. Yeah.
know that.
Which, NVIDIA. I have a hard time with. Here's my problem with AMD, or I guess going back to ATI,
Yeah.
because ATI was the original video game or video card manufacturer that AMD bought. God, their driver support has always been so awful.
It's really bad.
It's painful.
I had to, when I was using a lot of ATI cards, I had to hang on to the one driver set that worked. And like every time a new release, I'll try that. Nope, going back. Like it was kind of a routine process to try a new driver, realize that it crashed all my games, and then uninstall and roll back to the previous version that actually ran things. So, yes, that was a pain. I don't know if it's any better. I've been on NVIDIA for the past like 8 years.
Yeah, same. As far as like PC hardware goes, I got like early on, I just went, NVIDIA works for me, great. And I've always done NVIDIA since then because I've had a really good track record with it.
Mm-hmm.
No, like I don't do comparisons when I buy a new card, whatever. I just go like, which NVIDIA card do I want today? NVIDIA probably loves me. The industry as a whole is like, you stupid bitch. Why are you just doing that? Like, why aren't you being smart about it? It's easy.
I mean, they've been pretty dominant for a while now, and AMD's been doing a good job of holding
Until
down kind
now,
of-
apparently.
Well, yeah. I mean, DX12 is not like it came out of nowhere. I mean, people should have seen it coming. But the thing you never know with NVIDIA is whether they'll be able to pull it out in a driver update, which, I mean, that is what has always sold me on NVIDIA is their ability to improve performance and deliver consistently functional drivers.
Yeah.
Also, all of Twitter would like you guys to know that the 69ing sperms is actually cancer.
Really?
That's the crap. What is Pisces the M? No, wait, Gemini is the M. I don't know.
I
Why
mean,
is that?
I'm going to go with Twitter on this. I'm assuming that's right.
There's got to be a reason for that. I don't really care what it is. I just know that there has to be one.
I mean,
That's
it's like a made up symbol, so
That's true.
it doesn't really
Is
have
it
to make
all
sense.
letters, made up symbols? It's probably like Greek for moo or something.
Maybe.
That's moo, M-U, not M-O-O, like cow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pronounced Mew.
Is it?
I don't know, man.
Isn't that the cat from...
Mew.
Yeah. Pokemon.
Yeah. I
There.
learned that today.
We brought it back to games.
The one talking cat.
Oh, Meowth.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's weird.
But no one else cares that the whole subspecies of Pokemon can learn to talk.
There are some throwaway episodes where there's like
The rest of
scientists
them
trying
just
to
don't
capture
bother.
Meowth. Yeah, that is literally it. Meowth was lonely and wanted to learn how to talk, and I think he was like in the ceiling. He was a wildcat, and then watched a kid like reading child books or something like that.
He spied on English.
That was it. You're
Thank
right.
you, Meg.
Is the lesson that if you love a Pokemon less, it will learn more?
I guess. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah?
it's
All
not
right.
gonna fight as hard, but it'll hold a nice conversation with you. So you got to get your priorities set.
Yeah. I mean, do you want a Pokemon that talks, or do you want one that'll win in
just
tournament
wanna
or whatever they do?
Treat them mean, keep them linguistic.
This all came up because Pokemon Go is coming out, which is actually it's game news. Yeah.
Yeah, there we
Actually,
go.
sounds really cool.
Does it?
Yes.
Well, in a
Did you ever play Ingress?
No, I know nothing about Pokemon.
right. So in a
We just covered the entirety of my knowledge of Pokemon.
There was a
All
cat
right,
that talked.
Well, we're gonna fix that.
All right, let's do
so, Ingress. We got to start with the foundation. The company that's working on Pokemon Go,
Okay.
Niantic, made Ingress, which is like a location-based ARG. You play with your phone, and then you go take over real-world locations like a monument or a sculpture
Like
or something
Foursquare.
like that. And then, it's Foursquare turned into a game
Okay.
using like Google Maps. It actually came out of Google.
Mm-hmm.
It was an internal startup, and they you capture like a triangular area, and then that's you're one of two sides: Enlightened or Rebellion.
That sounds right. I don't remember.
I think so, or the Rebels, or Resistance. I think it might be Resistance.
Team Rocket.
Basically.
Team Rocket. So you're either the Enlightened people or Team Rocket. And so it's sort of a battle for territory, and you play it out by capturing these
In
locations
life.
with a whole bunch of people. So it's like an ARG MMO mobile game with Google Maps. And this is like that except with Pokemon. So it's real world based. You go to places, there'll be a Pokemon there. The initial trailer is a little bit vague, but it seems like you fight the Pokemon, you can capture Pokemon, and then you can trade Pokemon, you can battle with someone else's Pokemon, and then it seems like there's boss battles that will just pop up places
or
you
or
can
bass
go.
battles. You fight bass.
You
Bass
fight
battle sounds like a
gigantic
Pokemon.
fish. That's the new Pokemon for this one.
Nice.
And
I already have those. Gyarados.
there's like this wearable thing. It's like a little, looks like a little Pokeball with a button on it that will alert you. It just connects to your phone with Bluetooth
Right.
and will alert you if you're near a Pokemon.
Oh, that's nice. So you don't have to constantly walk around with your phone out like, oh, I guess that's how society works.
But instead, you have to walk around with this dorky Pokemon thing out.
Just on your wrist. It's like a style thing,
So your
right?
wrist, you can pin it
Dangle,
elsewhere. I
dangle,
think it's like a little vibrate thing, and it lights up when it sees it.
That's the
I'm not sure the vibration is strong enough for Ryan's purposes, though.
It's Lawrence's idea.
Everyone's.
Hey, credit where credit's due.
Why don't I don't know? Phones light up and vibrate already. I don't understand the point of the thingy, but everything else about it seems really cool and like it could really, really, really take off.
But you have to actually fling your wrist out, right?
Do you?
To throw the Pokeball.
Who knows? They haven't said specifically how any of it's going to work. It's just
Yeah.
a bunch of like potential, a bunch of ideas, a bunch of like this is what it's going to feel like. Maybe not exactly work this way, but
I just
Yeah.
kept having flashbacks to that whole when the Wii launched, and when they launched it, it didn't come with that wrist strap, so it was
Yeah.
just like people destroying their TVs.
Well, I remember, so way before all this, there was actually that April Fool's joke that Google Maps did.
oh yeah,
That was Pokemon with
love
Google
that.
Maps. I swear to God, I think that's where it came from.
Yeah.
Because they said Nintendo, or the Pokemon company rather, said that they had been talking to Niantic for like around 2 years. The timing of that matches up pretty closely. So they did this April Fool's last year. It was like a 5-day event. And at the time, I think they had a thing where you like hold up your phone and see a Pokemon through it. At least that's what the Google Maps
Kind of an
trailer
augmented
said you did.
reality.
I didn't actually play it, but it was augmented that way. So you can get an idea what the game would be like to play from probably the April Fool's thing, except now it's way more fleshed out.
I thought the April Fool's thing, and I only heard other people playing it. I thought it was just you went to Google Maps, the website, and scrolled around the maps, and you could just zoom in and find a Pokemon on the map. Like I didn't think you had to go there with your phone.
Oh, well, that's boring. Who do
No,
that?
but a lot of people did it because they wanted to find all 151 or whatever. So they would
Yeah.
basically be scrolling around and then be like, "Oh, I found one in India," and then they would like share the map coordinates, and everybody would go there. And
oh,
tap
that's
it
really
all.
disappointing. I was hoping you go places.
I was gonna say, I mean, it'd be really interesting if that was actually
Somebody's losing their minds because we're probably both wrong about this, and he's just screaming.
well, just conceptually. I mean, you think about the idea
Yeah.
of
Hold on, Meg.
Oh, good,
Meg's
good.
coming.
I
Coming.
got like 2 Pokemon, and you did just scroll around
Okay.
your Google Maps, and you just
No,
touched
that's
it.
so sad.
But you couldn't. I tried to like
That's cool,
zoom out
though.
to be like, sweet, how many can I see? But you had to be a certain amount zoomed in for it to even show up.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
But you
well,
got like a thing from Google if you caught all 151.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
you got
sent
like
it to
you got Pokemon like master
Yeah, Pokemon
business
Master.
cards.
Yeah.
It's super cute.
Well,
I
I
thought
like
that's
this idea,
cool.
though.
I mean, people do that anyway with Google Maps. Like, have you ever gone to Street View in like bad cities and bad areas and just try to find people getting shot?
I have
'Cause
not.
you can do that. In Compton once, I saw something on Street View of a dude just like with a gun out. I was like, fucking awesome. I'm glad I wasn't there.
The
but
thing is, you never know if that's someone that has been followed because there were these groups of people that will just follow the car
they will
around.
go do stunts.
They'll
Like
find the
they'll
path,
see
yeah,
it,
and
they'll
do
drive
things.
way in front of it, and then they'll do something stupid like take all their pants off and sit on top of their car.
Right.
that's pretty awesome. I was trying to-
But hey, so this would be a really interesting idea, though. So if Pokemon Go works more based off of like an actual geolocation,
yeah, that's how Ingress worked. So
I mean, you've basically just created that world for realsies.
Yep.
Where it's like, oh man, did you hear about those Pokemon up in Ohio? They're wild right now. You gotta go get one of those. Where people will go places and actually tame local Pokemon.
and then battle each other. Yep.
They've
It's-
created that in the real world.
yeah,
That's the Pokemon world.
that's really cool,
we
right?
don't need
It's super
reality
cool.
anymore.
And this is
Or clothes.
This is the
Or
frustrating.
clothes. Just get rid of them. Take them all off.
We'll wear the Pokemon.
You
it's
first.
fine. We this is the frustrating thing when everyone was like, Nintendo should just put Pokemon on phones. They don't do that. They like it would be easy, yes, and it would probably earn lots of money, but it would also like
Cannibalize 3DS sales and not be anything new.
yeah, I think that's an aspect. I think the bigger aspect is like if we're going to go to this platform, we're going to do something with the platform that makes it unique as opposed to just it is another game that's called Pokemon and you tap, fight, and you use items. Yes, that would probably earn some money, but this is like has the potential to be a phenomenon. And that seems to be where Nintendo's head is at. And it's so weird that people still don't get that. They're just put Mario on phones. Like, no, if Mario is going to go to phones, it's going to do it in some unique way that changes how people think about Mario for a little bit.
Yeah, sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't, but you have to give it to Nintendo. They try a lot of new stuff.
Yeah.
They try a lot of weird new ways of interacting with things. Ryan's eyes are watering because he dislikes Nintendo
Yeah?
so much.
I don't hate them.
What do you dislike about it? I'm curious. This is
They
not,
just,
not an aggressive question.
I mean, it's okay. We're all friends here.
Okay, come here, hold on.
Oh, God.
Come here 1 second. You got a little thing
No,
on your
oh, God,
eyelash.
what are you doing?
No, this is nice. You got a
yeah, you got a little
thing on your
fuzzy
eyelash
up
and you
there.
fix it.
You actually do. Nice.
You're not gonna rip my eye out, right?
No,
Not
of course
yet.
not.
Okay. I don't really have that much of a problem with Nintendo. It's just kind of fun to poke at them because of the different direction. Well, they do a lot of things that don't make sense to me as a gamer in the sense
Yeah.
that it's like, well, you're really late adopters on things like HD.
That
You're
was one pretty
restricting-
big disappointment.
You're restricting, people on YouTube being able to use your content to
Oh,
make
yeah.
content. Like, there's a few ways that personally it's like really inconvenient to me and the company that they do the things they do. I do respect a lot that they've done, like being very pioneering in the motion control world when that wasn't really a thing.
Yeah.
Which I think we can pretty easily point at things like Kinect and say that was a product sort of where Nintendo went. But yeah, I think my main fallout with Nintendo was I guess I outgrew most of their games in the sense that the type of gaming that I wanted to do just really didn't line up with most of their titles anymore. Not like I aged out of it, but just like that wasn't the type of gaming that I was looking for anymore.
That makes sense.
And it's just fun to poke at people who are like super diehard Nintendo
It's
fans.
pretty easy to, yeah. It's strange. Nintendo is kind of the Disney of video games in that, they have their good and bad spells. They have these icons that meant a lot to people in their childhood, and a lot of people feel a very strong attachment to that. And you can just like slide into a room and say Disney's terrible, and some people will just go insane, and it's kind of fun to do that sometimes. So yeah,
Sleeping Beauty defined my childhood.
What they need is their Pixar.
Well, even Pixar's having some rough times lately.
That's true, but they've also been a powerhouse that, if you ask me, has brought Disney back from doing like the 5th straight to home video sequel. I mean, they pretty
Aladdin
much
7 was amazing.
Back
So,
to Agrabah.
maybe Nintendo just needs that, and they did just name a new president.
Number 2.
New president. So
Really?
it's yeah.
Disney did?
No,
No.
not Disney.
Nintendo.
Sorry,
Oh,
Nintendo.
oh, yes, they did. Yeah.
So Tatsumi Kimishima.
Fine pronunciation. I'm going to read this real quick. I used to shave with a razor that was so old it thought steampunk was still cool. I modified it like there was
It's a
another.
sweet burn.
I don't know if I got it in there. All right. Why did I torture myself with that gross old blade for weeks and weeks? Because I didn't want to shell out $20 for a pack of new ones. DollarShaveClub.com changed all that. They totally revolutionized the way that I shave. Down here, mainly. Like up here, it's hit or miss. But down here, yes.
Smooth.
Now I shave with a fresh blade whenever I want. DollarShaveClub.com delivers a whole sleeve of amazing razors for just a few bucks. I pop on a fresh blade whenever I want. Shaving with a fresh blade feels fantastic. You just get a better shave. DollarShaveClub.com's razors are so good, millions of guys have joined up. And some ladies. Probably millions of them too. The billion-dollar razor corporations are freaking out. But instead of lowering their bloated prices, they're trying to fool us into milking the same blade for an entire month. And that's gross. Have you seriously looked under a blade that you shaved with a few times?
Oh yeah, it's super
Yeah.
gross.
A lot of dead skin and stuff. Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
like little bits of hairs.
I think you could build a new me out
I
of
gotta
all
bang
my
it
old
out
razors.
on the sink.
They price gouge. Yeah, that would. Do you
Right,
do
right,
that on
right.
the? Do you actually do it in the sink at
Yeah.
least? Okay.
You knock all the shit out.
Yeah. Does that work for you? Because it's real in there for me.
Oh yeah, you had to do it pretty immediately and constantly.
Oh,
So
okay.
shave, bam, 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 and then like look and okay.
I guess I just didn't get a good enough instructional when I was growing up.
Oh,
on
I
how
didn't
to
either.
properly shave.
Figured this junk.
It was I was a late adopter to facial hair.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Mine's still coming in. One of these days.
They price gouged us for long enough. I'll never go back to squeezing weeks and weeks of shaves out of a disgusting old blade. Upgrade to shaving with a fresh blade whenever you want. It's such a luxury, and it's a third of the price. Join me and most of us here at The Patch and millions of others who have figured out the smarter way to shave. Join Dollar Shave Club right now by going to dollarshaveclub.com/patch today. That's dollarshaveclub.com/patch. Not just patch.
Thank you, Dollar Shave Club.
All right, so I'm just looking up a little bit more information about Kimishima. He
Used to be the NOA president, right?
CEO.
CEO.
So he tends to use other people as like the public face. So like Reggie was always the public face of Nintendo of America, even while Kimishima was CEO. So probably that'll happen. I don't know if it's a promotion or just a title change for like Miyamoto. He's now creative fellow.
Oh, I see.
Creative
He's
fellow.
That's his.
He sure
that's
is a
his, gonna be
creative
his business
fellow.
card. Creative fellow. He's be like, yeah.
And
yeah, I am.
dapper gentleman.
Yeah. All around nice guy. Have you when
Um,
Miyamoto smiles, the world gets a little brighter. He's got the cutest face.
He does. And he made that blue Star Fox lady.
yeah.
Right?
So he
I mean, that's Star Fox is.
did all the 12-year-olds of the world a favor.
Yeah.
Got them all started on that furry path pretty early.
He actually drew the first esophagus. Like people don't know that.
He was
but-
the one to discover esophagi.
Yeah.
So he's done a lot. He's actually an ENT, ear, nose, and throat guy. Excuse me. That was his title before he came creative fellow.
But he likes to work as other people as sock puppets to
Yeah.
hide his greatness.
That's he's very experienced with esophagi, so he can just wrangle right up in there.
Well,
Kermit.
we're getting towards the end, so I wanted to hit a few other topics before we kind of sort of lightning round-ish. Hey, you got something?
No, I'm just getting corrected on pronunciation. Tatsumi
Tatsumi.
Kimishima.
Mishima. All right.
Okay. Telltale's Minecraft coming out pretty soon. It's going to actually get a physical release, which is
Okay.
it's been a while since.
That's gonna be weird, right?
I mean, are they
Yeah.
gonna
What's
are
the
they gonna wait till
story?
it's completed?
Is it about
until-
Steve?
No, it's
No.
not about Steve.
So
it's
it's-
like all
In fact, you have
different characters.
an option at the beginning to be either Patton Oswalt voiced character or there's a female character too. And I looked her up,
Well,
but I didn't really recognize her. From
There's something
anything.
like 6 characters, right? This is the first time you can pick a female playable
Yes.
character, although that's
That took a
still
while.
in a
I guess you could put skins
Telltale
on.
game.
In a
Oh, I see.
Telltale.
Okay. Wait.
Well, no,
you could be
play
a girl
as-
in
the-
Borderlands.
that you pick.
Oh. Oh. Okay.
Okay, you don't
Okay,
have
yeah,
the
yeah.
option to choose between. There is no variability.
Yeah, I
in
remember that
Telltale.
announcement came out, and I was like, well, there have been plenty of. Oh, okay. Well, it's a very specific like first.
Really pigeonhole that
but
one. Yeah.
it's first.
Okay. First-
It's weird. I like Telltale. I like Minecraft. This one's sort of flying under my radar.
I'm really
Yeah.
curious about it.
And I'm not sure if it's because I like Minecraft for the exact opposite reason I like Telltale games.
They are essentially polar opposite experiences. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, you go from no traditional story as such, completely open world, do whatever you want. You can just like dig this hole, or you can go off and fight monsters, or you can mine, or you can do all this crazy stuff and make a computer out of redstone, or you can decide one of these 3 responses to a conversation and do it quick, and they will remember that.
Yeah.
Well,
You know, they're just so different that I heard a lot of really good things at PAX. People got to play it and they really, really liked it. So maybe I'm just overly skeptical, but so far I'm I'm holding off on getting too excited for it.
I mean, I think you could say arguably right now, Telltale is one of the better storytellers in terms of gaming. So, I mean, while that is a huge gulf in basically pure gameplay to pure story for the most part, because Telltale is very light on actual moving things around, you just kind of select story options.
That's maybe because their engine sucks and they need to redo it.
The engine is real bad, and I hope
getting
that
better.
they fix that.
Tales from the Borderlands looks pretty good. I mean,
It
looks
looks
pretty
good,
good.
but it still has kind of like...
Right, like the
Yeah.
action sequences, I always find they're like a little bit sluggish. I'm always like, come on, you can do it.
It's also like every time there's a camera cut, there's like 1 or 2 frames where the character models either aren't there or in the wrong
Yeah.
pose. So every time it's cut, there's like this weird little visual bonk, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm watching basically a machinima TV series.
Yeah.
And then it gets a little weird. You'd think they would nail that stuff because cinematography is kind of important if you're doing a TV show. But hey, what do I know?
Right. I just hope that with all the cash dollars they're making with all their like licensed IPs and doing all this crazy stuff and making way more games than it seems like any one company could be making.
Yeah, that's weird.
Hopefully they can afford to put a whole bunch of developers to work on a nice new engine
Well, I mean,
For
when would they do
Minecraft.
it? When would they build this new engine?
for their next game.
I mean, it's probably
Right.
iterative. I'm sure that there's some people refining the tech over and over again. I think from their perspective, the most important part is probably what they already nailed, which is that they can create assets quickly and revise like script and VO and like position actors in a scene like really, really fast.
Yeah,
So-
until the 6-month gap between Wolf Among Us episode 1 and episode 2 that.
She's a little bitter about that.
yeah,
a
why is
little
that?
bitter. I hold a grudge.
Those like it's strange when that happens, and there's always got to be a story behind it because right now, like I'm waiting for Life is Strange to finish up so I can start it. I'm sold on it. I want to play it, but I don't want to get super into it and then have to wait. The last episode doesn't even have a release date yet, and it's been like what, a month and a half?
Yep.
Episodic gaming, it's really a weird sinkhole where it's like you're going out on a limb and assuming that they are going to deliver you the rest of it in timely fashion.
I was really excited about episodic gaming at first, and Telltale is one of the few companies that seems to be succeeding at that model.
Like the only one. I mean, Life is Strange's run is almost done, and that would be like, as far as I can tell, the second developer's ever actually done it.
Well, successfully. There have
Half-Life,
been
episode
some
1
other.
and 2.
Yeah, that finished up. Kentucky
Well,
Route Zero,
real timely.
I think did it.
Yeah, there have been a couple of episodic games, but Telltale is like the episodic game company. But I'm a little over it. I don't know if it was one of those gimmicks, not like a gameplay gimmick, but almost like a genre that for me ran its course really quickly. And now I'm gonna wait until the whole thing is out, and then I will play it.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. It's weird that people conflate the two like you're supposed to enjoy them in the same way, and you basically said as much that you enjoy Minecraft and episodic gaming in different ways. Like episodic games are just TV shows, and if you don't like the TV show because it's a game, that doesn't make the TV show better. So if there's a series you don't like, and you don't like the writing, you don't like the characters, you don't like the story, you can just walk away from it like you'd walk away from any bad TV show. But like Tales from the Borderlands, the writing's actually really funny, and the voice acting's really good. So I'm in it for the performances. Honestly, I wish there was an autoplay button. Like I could just bonk and then just watch the episode. I don't really care about the choice because it's never going to matter that much. It can't.
Yeah.
It's because every time they give you a meaningful decision, they have to create assets to reward both those decision paths, and that takes time and costs money. So all the market forces kind of push against that being a thing, and so often it's not. So I'd rather just say, just play and give me achievements, basically.
I mean, when you look at Minecraft, though, like, because it's so devoid of any really story, what is Telltale really going to be working with that's a hook to
I'm really
that?
curious about that.
So, I mean, really, if you just look at it as another Telltale story brought to you by Minecraft, that's really all there is to it. I mean, there's not like you're going to learn the tale of Steve and it's going to make some
Yeah.
kind of substantive difference to the
lore
way you
of the
play
world.
Minecraft. You're not going to be like, oh man, I just better not get him eaten by a spider. He's got a family to go back to.
Yeah, it does seem like it's just an adventure that takes place in a
Yeah,
Minecraft
really?
world.
It's like people are blocky.
I was kind of hoping that the characters in it would be played by humans that you never meet. But they like go into the game and they talk about their real world day, and then through their conversations and the way they play, you start to get hints about what they're going through in real life. Like maybe one of his kid is a mom who's sick or something like these are easy.
Oh, that's
So
neat.
like
I hope.
the Guild, the Minecraft game.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Except you're only seeing the fake World of Warcraft version of those characters and the way they interact there is how you kind of learn about them. And, you can have like the quiet player and all of a sudden they start talking and you get to know about them in episode 4 or something like that. You can have episodes focusing on different players that drop in and out of this server. Like there's a construct there that could work. I don't know that that's where they're going with it, but that's in my head. I'm like, yeah, I would play that. I would watch that.
That's a really interesting concept.
That does
I'd-
seem like a lot like it would be a good machinimated series.
Yeah.
It never even occurred to me that they might go that direction with it. So that's a really good take on it.
I mean, they may not. I don't know.
Now
I don't know
you
anything
may have,
about it.
You may have just ruined it for me
Yeah,
because
I
they may
still-
not do that and be like, "Oh man, Lawrence's idea was way better."
Set the bar really high. Well, it's just an idea. I didn't write the script. It'd probably be bad if I tried to. So
I wonder how this game is going to sell. Because Minecraft has sold silly millions.
Telltale sells pretty well. I mean,
Telltale sells pretty well. Minecraft sells really, really well. But I also feel like, is it just me or is Minecraft starting to fall off a little
well, it's because
bit?
everybody owns it. You can't sell any more copies when everybody owns it.
But even almost interest. I noticed
yeah.
like on YouTube, a lot of people are switching away from Minecraft to other stuff. It's not,
is this just media? Is the viewership going down, or are people producing less Minecraft?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
It's
And I'm
a
not
sort of
sure if
chicken
it's
and
just
egg there.
because
But
it's.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's because of just people. The creators are doing something new and dragging the viewers' interest along with it, or if it's just the game's been around for a really long time now. Again, it got saturated, and eventually it stops being this new exciting thing, and it's still part of a lot of people's lives, but it's not something that they seek out so much.
yeah, I mean the game is only well, especially if you're talking about it on consoles, it's only so dynamic. Like you can come up with a lot of stuff. It's very open in that way, but you get to a threshold where you're like, all right, I've summited every mountain, I've
know
torn
that-
down every
You
mountain.
guys have spent a lot of time in Minecraft.
We've been in there a while, yeah. So, I mean, there's only so much creativity you can have that eventually you get to a point where you're just like doing things that you could do better elsewhere, even go outside.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some mods for sure that would keep it alive that can change the game and do whatever you like. Stuff that I didn't even realize. Like, I didn't know that there's the ether
yeah,
and there's the one that lets you go in space.
yep. We played that one. It's not Galaxy Quest. It's shoot, I forgot the name of it. But yeah, we played a couple episodes.
So,
of that.
like, there-
Galacticraft.
There we go. So there's a lot you can do with it from that standpoint. But even so, eventually
Well,
you'll probably just be like, we should try something new.
that's the same way GTA 4 was. I mean, it had a much longer tail on PC just because of the modding community, and I'm sure that'll work the same for Minecraft.
Yeah.
Xbox and PS4 probably about end of life pretty soon, I imagine. Or they'll have to come up with the other two ways out would be
I think the Windows 10 edition of Minecraft, I don't think it supports mods quite yet, but I think eventually that's the goal, and the idea is to make it so that you can bring a lot of that stuff across to consoles, similar to what Fallout 4 is going to do, where you can have a mod and it works on different platforms. Because if you can't mod on console, which still like boggles my mind that there's so many copies of Minecraft sold on console that just can't do that,
Yeah.
and have to pay for like texture packs and all that. You can only do it for so long.
I will say, I think maybe they're sitting on some of that because they're going to use it as a big pitch point around HoloLens. They've already, I mean, it's already in half the promotional materials for HoloLens. And that's an interesting way to really bring that sort of game into a real modern era because now you can play it in this very exclusive way. And they have to have something to work HoloLens with to broaden the base of people they're trying to sell it to, right?
But we have no idea how long
Yeah.
it's going to take for HoloLens to come out.
It's
Yeah.
true. Maybe
All
that'll
they've said is Windows 10 timeframe.
that'll be their Half-Life 3. It's Minecraft 2 with HoloLens.
That's so weird that HoloLens it doesn't feel like a consumer-facing product to me. Maybe not yet.
Not yet.
But-
well, I mean, a lot of their ads are. I mean, there's the one
Yeah.
where it's like the whole family and like the daughter steals it and she runs to her room and then the mom's like, "Where's my HoloLens? I need that for work." And she takes it and goes to work. And it's like, "Here's a car." All that stuff.
I haven't seen that one. That sounds really
That's a
lame.
good retelling of it, I think. I was pretty close.
yeah.
Everyone in the family steals it. The little boy's like shooting aliens. Pew pew pew.
hate it when you watch a video like that and you can imagine the like table that a lot of people are sitting around. One's like, I don't know, what about a family and they're all stealing the HoloLens from each other because they love it so much.
Right.
Nobody's like, yeah,
And the parents are using it for work, and then
Yeah,
the kids like
parents work,
shooting things.
Kids are having
and
fun. Let's go to lunch. Or let's go drink.
sold.
Yeah, basically. Then they just start throwing Minecraft money at the bartender.
Yeah, I think one of the most disappointing things about HoloLens is I hear a lot of great things about that as well. Bernie was raving about
Really?
it after he tried it at E3. But one of the downsides being that, like you were talking about with the whale and filling your
Yeah.
frame of vision so that it's completely immersive, that there's like an edge around the hologram
Yeah.
that it doesn't display any of that, so which would completely destroy your immersion.
I think so. And
It's not really designed for quite the immersiveness of the VR headsets. I don't
It's
think.
not, but it's like the idea is to be able to project things into your world, which is a crazy cool concept until it's broken and you see how not real it is.
That's true. It seems like it's entirely designed around having a point in space where you know a holographic thing will be. So you can look right at it and be like, awesome, there's that thing. It seems less like you're meant to just walk around and discover with it because, yeah, it would just clip into your view and be like, oh, there's a balloon there, and like swat at it. That seems a little less interesting than understanding that when you look at this table, there will be a thing there, and when you look away from it, it won't be there. That makes a little more sense to me. So the only thing I can figure is they're going to give, like, I don't know how the Minecraft table worked, that display, but all I can imagine is that it's kind of like there's a QR code, and that's what it anchors the display to. So you knowingly put that on the table, and you're like, okay, now my game's going to be there. And you're like, no, like running around the table. It's weird to me to imagine just like going around your home and finding weird things on the walls or something like that, because it doesn't seem like an immersive experience.
There have been some vision videos that seem really cool that have neat ideas, like just projecting a Skype window. So you're having
that's cool.
you're having like a video call with someone. It's just like projected up in the air over here, in your world, and that sort of stuff is really cool. Again, we'll see how it actually turns out because there have been a lot of vision videos from Microsoft. Kinect had some very compelling ones,
Yeah.
and I still could never scan my skateboard. Assuming that at first I had to go get a skateboard, but then I couldn't scan it. So we'll
Connect in
see.
one hand, skateboard
Well,
in
it's
the
a
other.
software problem,
It's
all
gonna be a
right?
good day today. 1 hour later, you're like, fuck this. Throwing the skateboard in the trash can. 20 minutes later, throwing the Kinect in the trash can.
So we'll see how it actually ends up in execution. I have hopes. I have hopes that, what people have seen, they seemed really happy about. But again, that edge thing, I think, needs to be solved before it can be really immersive.
FOV, yeah, is definitely going to be their issue. Well, before we wrap up, I did want to mention real quickly that Taken King came out yesterday. I've been a long time complainer about various things in Destiny. And I would like to say tentatively that it seems like they have taken the lack of story concerns that a lot of people have had and definitely work towards better incorporation in your actual play experience. There's a lot more work done putting in voices and personality into the characters you're dealing with, especially right now. I haven't played all through the entire thing because we're doing kind of a Let's Play series with it, but Nathan Fillion's character, Cade Six, is definitely much more of a personality, where previously there would be guys that you just talk to in the tower and they would say like one bite of line.
Yeah.
And then that was it. It's like, all right, you got Nathan Fillion to stand in a tower and not tell me anything.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sweet.
But now he's actually got a personality, and it's like, wow, you've got some kind of emotion to
Man
you.
boobs.
Like you.
What are you?
Yes, he's actually a robot, so they grafted them on. It was way easier than for humans. Like there's no, it's just weld good.
But can he swallow you whole?
I don't know. He's got a little smarky mouth. There might
It
be.
just
I don't know what's in there.
just unhinges and down you go.
Yeah, but there's been all kinds of stuff. He's got a personality. You deal with Eris some more. All your primary class trainers actually talk and interact with you finally, and they have little cutscenes that are like, oh, this is what history is in the world. With Nolan North doing his like, hello, I am a robot.
I'm a chipper robot.
Yeah. So tentatively, I'm going to say they've definitely added story. I like that. Like that it's in the game, not that I have to go to a website.
Yeah. Read
and
your
spend a few hours.
grimoire
Yeah.
cards.
So next time, hopefully, I'll have played through the whole game, and I can maybe talk more about it. But
I'm hitting it hard when I
Alright.
get home.
temporary
Well,
pass.
I'm looking forward to hearing more.
Yeah. Well, Lawrence, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you
We're
for
gonna
having me.
wrap up.
Yeah.
Next is episode of Game Club about Rocket League.
That's right. In which Bruce and Bernie will join me. We'll talk about that. So thank you so much for joining us. We will see you again next Wednesday for another episode of The Patch.